Welcome back, all you beautiful bulletproof handymen and women. So today I'm going to show you how to add employees, subcontractors, and any other type of team member to your Jobber account so that you can utilize them within Jobber and so that they can utilize your Jobber account to get their job done. I also want to remind you before we dive in, I do a lot of free Jobber webinars all the time. So if you go to the description of this video or any of my videos, you should find some links to get yourself registered for some of those free webinars. And if you don't already have Jobber, you can go to the description of this video or any of my videos and click on that link to get a free 14-day trial. And if you use my link, you're also going to get 20% off for the first 6 months. So let's go ahead and just dive in here. And the way that we're going to manage and add our team members is by coming up here to the top right. We're on the home screen, by the way. I'll start all these from the home screen. Come up to the top right, click on that gear icon, and click on Manage Team. And the first thing you're going to see under Manage Team is just a list of all your team members. And you'll have some little dots over here on the right so that you can either resend an invitation, because a lot of times these guys just lose these, or you can deactivate them, or you can click on the actual team member themselves and you can edit from there. But let's go back where we came into. So under Manage Team, if we want to add a user, then we click on that Add User button at the top right. First thing we can do is we can upload an image. I'll just upload one of me there. And then we can put their name in. So I'll fill all of this out and I'll just fast forward through the filling out process. Okay, so I got a little sample team member information put out with an email address, a phone number, a street address, etc. And then next, now this is one of the custom fields that I made to track my team members. There is a separate video on how to create custom fields if you want to go ahead and go watch that. But this field that I made is for me to list their specialty. So let's pretend like this particular one is drywall finisher. So now we have somewhere to keep track of what our guys are good at. This guy's good at being a drywall finisher. Labor cost. If this was an hourly employee and we're going to pay them hourly, then we can put in the labor cost here. So let's say this guy is getting $25 per hour. Next, and this is the big one, and this is my favorite part of how Jobber manages team members, is permissions. So first of all, if you make them an administrator, then they're essentially you. They have full access to literally everything inside your account. Probably not going to be doing that much. However, down here, there are preset permission levels. So you can have limited workers, dispatchers, managers, or you can customize it. So if you want to customize it, you just click custom and you can come down here and click on exactly what permissions you do or do not want to give them. But for this one, let's say I'm adding a worker. And all these are, every time you click one of these here under the presets, it's just changing all of these custom settings down here. So you can start from there. So I want to create a worker. That's the first thing I want to do. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to look at each of the individual permission items because I can change these individually. And if I change any of these, in fact, watch here, I'm going to click on schedule. I'm going to say they can edit everyone's schedule, and I want you to watch where worker is now going to pop down to custom. So when I click on that, boom, worker becomes custom. So let's come back up to worker, and that pops that back up there. But once you've clicked worker, these are all going to be preset, and you can just adapt them a little bit for what you need. So the first one we're going to look at is schedule. We want them to view their schedule or view and complete or even edit. So this guy, let's say I trust him. I want him to be able to edit his own schedule. He's not tied to my schedule. He could also edit everyone else's or edit and delete everyone else's if you wanted it to be that way. Or you can completely turn this off. All of these you can just completely turn off if you don't want them to view or edit anything at all in certain circumstances. Next is going to be time tracking and time sheets, so they can view and record, or they can view, record, and edit, or view, record, and edit everyone's. I'm going to leave that as view and record. Next is notes. So do you want them to be able to view notes on jobs and visits only, or do you want them to be able to view all notes across everything within the software, or do you want them to be able to view and edit all, or view, edit, and delete all? So for this particular situation, I want him to be able to view and edit all notes. And then next is expenses. So they can view, record, and edit their own, or they can view, record, and edit everyone's. I'm going to leave that alone. And then you get to decide, do you want to show him pricing? I don't want to show him pricing. So he's just going to see all of the information, but with none of the pricing involved. Now we're going to skip over job costing. That's its own individual video, but depending on what selections you have made in Jobber, you'll be able to show them the job costing and have them be able to edit things related to that as well. And then clients and properties, they can view client name and address only, or view full client and property info, or view and edit full client and property info, or view, edit, and delete full client property and info. And I'm going to change this one so that he can actually go ahead and edit client property info, because I'm probably going to ask him to make some edits to the client property info at some of the jobs he's on. So I want him to be able to do that. There's also a box here to show clients on their Jobber menu. It just depends on whether you want them to see the clients. I don't mind if they see them because they're going to know anyways if they're working for me. And then requests, they can view only, or view, create, and edit, or view, create, edit, and delete. I'm going to go ahead and allow this particular guy, because I trust him, to view, create, and edit. And on quotes, I'm going to leave him at view only, because the only way to make it so that he can view, create, and edit, and or delete is if I'm showing him pricing, and I don't want to be showing him his pricing, and I don't have any good reason for him to be able to view and edit and delete quotes. All he needs to do is be able to view if I have him viewing it. And then finally on jobs here, we have view only, view, create, and edit, or view, create, edit, and delete. I definitely only want him being able to view, and I do want to show jobs in their Jobber menu. And invoices, view only, or if I turn on pricing where he can see pricing, then he could also do some creating, editing, and deleting as well. And then finally reports, if you turn reports on, they'll get access to all the reports, but only within the permissions that you've set. I don't need him pulling any reports, so I'm just going to turn that off. And then down here at the bottom, this is not related. The communications is not related to this particular employee. I don't need him getting any particular emails or anything like that in his junk mail. However, under invitation language, this is a cool new feature Jobbers dropped just recently, is if somebody is Spanish speaking and they prefer that their Jobber account be in Spanish, if that's going to make them better at their job, you can click on this and everything is going to convert to Spanish within their app. However, this one is English, so I'm going to leave it English. And now we've got this user entirely created. All right, let's go ahead and save user, and up pops a little thing letting us know that the labor cost only applies to new entries. So if this was an existing team member and you had just gone in and edited their labor cost, this is popping up to let you know it's not going to apply this new labor cost, their hourly rate. It's not going to apply that to prior work that they've done and prior time entries. It's only going to apply to new time entries going forward. So go ahead and click on got it. And now this particular team member is saved. And also, now that this new team member is saved, I do want to show you something else, which is that you can send a password reset email to this team member. Click send. Another feature I want to tell you all about, but I'm not going to dive into it yet, is selecting their availability for online booking. Online booking is definitely going to be its own very large video. It's a very complex thing they've developed here that allows people to book into your schedule or into your employee's schedule in real time. But what I do want you to see is that you can set their hours for online booking. You can edit those hours right here. But like I said, we're going to dive into that on a completely different video because I'm trying to keep these short and sweet and focused on the topic at hand. So I hope this video was useful to you guys. I do want to remind you that I do a whole lot of Jobber webinars, and you can go into the description of this video or any of my other videos and find the links to get registered for those webinars. And if you'd like to try a free 14-day trial of Jobber, you can go into the description of this video or any of my other videos and click on that link to get your free 14-day trial. And that's also going to come with 20% off for the first 6 months. So with all that being said, I love you guys. I hope you're out there killing it, and I'll see you on the next one.